So one area that showcases the significant growth, waste, as you just said, is the FEMA's disaster recovery efforts. It is more than justified what our president has been discussing when he's talking about what we can do to change the status quo. So I've asked staff to provide this chart. Visuals are always good. I don't know, we may have to raise that up. Can you all see the red lines from your seated position, the red lines at the bottom? Mm-hmm. You able to see that? That's the rate of inflation. That is the rate of inflation starting in 2000 at the sidebar here, very, very far left. The dark blue at the bottom is the base for disaster recovery. Then the light blue is the supplementals that Congress comes in and brings about. So the bottom red line represents just the base growth every year appropriated by Congress. The upper red line represents what would be, if we had grown at the rate of inflation, supplementals added. So go back to 2000. At the rate of inflation, what we will see is base disaster aid, annually appropriated. If it had just grown at the rate of inflation, it would be almost two times greater. Bottom left number, $2.5 billion. Today, at the rate of inflation, that base number would be $4.2 billion. That's the bottom red line. You can see, very slow growth. The upper red line, again, indicative of the supplementals. If we go back, middle number on the left side, $4.2 billion in 2000 was the total added in the supplemental cost. If you rise at the rate of inflation, that would put us at $8.2 billion. But you notice where those red lines track on the right side of this graph. Way short of where we actually are. And you have to, instead of a multiplier of 200, you have to put a multiplier of 800%. That is the rate of growth, whether it's the base, 800% growth, relative to what would be the rate of inflation, or supplemental, 800% growth. And then you see a few years before. I want to dismantle quickly. I don't have the time to go through the stats. I've done this in committee before. Anyone who says this is climate-related, more climate, you've got a United Nations climate panel. The United Nations, not known to be right of center, saying that there is no correlation between frequency of hurricanes and drought and wildfires relative to climate change. So that argument, even the United Nations dispels. We've got a waste problem. We've got an inefficiency problem.